Notices for the meeting were properly posted and provided to those who requested direct notification. Let it be noted that all school board members are here except for Ron Chris. We're going to have a prayer by Mr. Glaze and a pledge by Mr. Young.
Please stand. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessings that you bestow upon us. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the school system, all of our staff, our administrators, our students, and everyone that's involved in the education and well-being of our children. Heavenly Father, just ask you to forgive us our sins, these blessings. We ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do we have a motion for the agenda?
I'll offer.
Mr. Harrier, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fudge seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Vote passes. Mr. Shearhouse?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Tonight we get to recognize our Scholar Bowl winners, and we're going to have Allison come up and read their names off. I'll present them with a certificate. We're so very proud of our students and what they've done with Scholar Bowls, and it's amazing sometimes you go out there and listen to the questions and the answers. We have some very bright students in Limestone County, and we're certainly so very proud of you. So we'll present them certificates at this time.
He's locked you in.
We had 3 wonderful days of competition for our Scholars Bowl for elementary, middle school, and high school. And our elementary Scholars Bowl high score was Easton Scott. From Sugar Creek Elementary. And his coach, Jessica Cummings. And congratulations to our Johnson Elementary for winning first place for our Elementary Scholars Bowl. Team captain, Wesley Hampton. Hazel Hogan. Case Hampton. Carson Bowers.
He says this is not my favorite.
Maya
thing.
Jonah Farrell. Samuel Hatchett. And they are coached by April Haney. Congratulations.
Everybody smile.
It's an old trophy.
somebody in the front or sit on the floor in front of them.
Right there in the center, how about that? Someone just broke me again.
Yeah.
That way it's not as big. There we go.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Good job, April.
Now for our middle school high scorer from East Limestone High School, Ava Hewitt. And congratulations to our middle school Scholars Bowl winners. Sorry, I need to do the coach first. So her coach, the high score coach, Jessica Haywood.
With a kid in there too. Yeah, yeah. Kid,
Want the kid
kid,
too.
yes. Yes, we did that the first time.
The important one needs to be in there too.
Yes. Organize them.
And congratulations to our middle school Scholars Bowl winners, East Limestone High School, but their middle school team, Captain Jameson Loesch. Ava Hewlett.
She's trying to juggle.
Double dipping.
Abby K. Rayburn. Adam Scherf. Braden Bailey. Kate Schreiner. Easton Horner. Lily Rayburn. Ava McFarland. Cassidy Loesch. And they are coached by Jessica Haywood.
I think we can just all get together. Right. You're gonna have to tell them what to do.
At this time, we'd also like to congratulate Clements High School for being our high school Scholars Bowl winner, but we will actually recognize them later because they could not be here tonight.
Were you the coach?
I could be.
They all have jobs, and we're starting
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for being here. And it's up to you if you'd like to stay or leave. But we appreciate you so much being here.
Yes.
Thank
It's up to me.
you. Not you.
Congratulations, y'all.
Congratulations.
I think I have to take this kid somewhere.
Well, I hope so. Hey, I'd rather go with you, really.
How you doing, Mr. Fudge?
Good to see
Remember
you.
me?
I know your face, tell me.
I used to haul a bunch of hogs for you. Brandon Hampton.
Well, Brandon, I hadn't seen you since you grew up. You was just a boy.
I'm grown. All right.
12 years since the summer.
12 years, that's a good long time.
Hey, buddy. You all right? Yeah, fine.
At least 12, 13 or 14.
Congratulations, y'all. Are you trying to run away, man?
I didn't see you. I didn't see you up there.
Hey, bud. That's right. That's right. How about that? He got all that from his mama.
He had to. I don't know who he got it from.
Oh, my goodness. All right, we have Miss Kim Hubbard. You have the floor.
Have the floor. Okay, we're going to look at our financials tonight. We're going to look at February. It's the 5th month of our fiscal year, so we're 42% of the way through the fiscal year. Let's look at our local revenue. It's $15.1 million. We've collected 59% already, so that's more than the 42. And if you look at our expenditures, they're at $50 million, and that's only 40%, so we're 2% under so far. And if you look, 1 month fund balance is $10.7 million, and we have $35.7, so we've got 3.34 months of a fund balance right now.
That just sounds too good.
Do what?
I said that almost sounds too good.
We'll take it though. And one of our sales tax checks didn't come in by the last day of February, so it'll come in March.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it'll be a little more.
All right. We have the agenda.
What?
You want to look at the chart?
Oh, you want to look at the chart? We can look at the chart. It's kind of, let's look at the chart. If you look, because that one check didn't come in, we're kind of flat. Our fund balance kind of stayed the same as last month. But still, we're usually, when we get to February, you'll see it dip down some because we've collected all the ad valorem we're going to collect, the property taxes. But we're holding steady this year. So and see, we still have pretty color.
Yes, we do have pretty color. All right. Do we have a motion on the agenda?
I'll motion.
Ms. Kilgore, do we have a second?
I'll second.
She-
Consent agenda.
Second,
agenda,
yes, yes. Do we have a discussion? Hearing none.
Wait.
All those in
We gotta
favor?
hold up.
Is that unanimous? I don't know.
Sorry.
Okay, unanimous. That passes. We got the next. Pages. Okay, apparently I'm missing a page.
No, this is the third one. Third page. I was looking forward to.
Okay. We have a approval of personnel actions. Do I have a motion? Mr. Hilliard offers. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fudge seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? It passes unanimously.
Yes, at this time, I would like to recognize the new principal at Elmont High School, Graham Adderholt. He's with us tonight. We're very proud to have Graham joining our district. That'll be on June 1st, and we're looking forward to great things at Elmont High School. So, Graham, congratulations.
Thank you. Got color ties, so you drive.
And his little girl's actually playing softball tonight,
Right.
and so he's going to scoot out of here in just a minute so he can see her play. But I did want to introduce him to everyone here at the meeting. And we also have our new CMP director with us, Kaylee Wozniak. We're so glad to have you with us. And I told the principals that she really has the best of both worlds. She went to Auburn and Alabama, and so she's got it all covered. And so she's going to make a great CMP director. We're so glad to have her in the district. And Kaylee, welcome aboard.
All right. Discussion and approval of the 2023 summer work schedule for the 12-month employees. Do I have a motion? Mr. Glaze, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Young, seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? It passes unanimously. Adoption and purchase of Benchmark Advance for K-5 English Language Arts at a cost of $847,445 with a funding source of the ARP ESSER of $247,445 and the general fund of $600,000. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Ms. Kilgore, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fudge, seconds. Do we have a discussion?
I would like to say this went through the textbook adoption committees, so we had representatives. The board, of course, approved that committee, and so this has been through that process. The choice of the committee is a local decision based on what they thought was best for our district, and so we're looking forward to great training and great materials that we'll have available for our teachers moving forward.
Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Discussion and approval of the 2023 summer school program scheduled June 5th through the 29th, 2023 at Success Academy at Owens Campus. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Mr. Fudge makes a motion. Any second?
Second.
Mr. Glade seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? It passes unanimously. Discussion and approval of textbooks for the following CTE clusters: architect and construction, information technology and information technology, middle school and transportation, distribution and logistics. Do I have a motion?
I'll
Mr. Young, Ms. Kilgore seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? All right, it passes unanimously. Discussion approval of the 2023-2024 Limestone County School Course Offerings Handbook and ALSDE State Course List. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Ms. Kilgore, do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Fudge, any discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor? It passes unanimously. Discussion and approval of the summer 2023 board work sessions and board meeting schedules. Do I have a motion?
I move.
Mr. Fudge, do I have a second? Mr. Hilliard, any discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously.
Madam Chairman, item 14, I'd like to move that we table this to the main meeting. Still seems to be a little bit of confusion about
Okay.
exactly what we're doing.
So let's do a motion and a discussion and then make, yeah. So we have extracurricular transportation plan and an estimated cost of $800,000. The funding source is a general fund. Do we have a motion?
I'll second.
Oh, okay, the first was Earl.
Yeah.
And Young was second. And discussion.
Can I, yes, I want to say something for Superintendent Starr. First, I
Certainly.
want to apologize to the Superintendent, because I advocated to get this on the agenda, but it seems to me that there's still a whole lot of confusion, even though we've been talking about this since December, November. It's been a while.
December.
Okay. So this will give, 30 days to get your questions answered. So let's get them answered, because we don't need questions the afternoon of the board meeting, because we don't have time to, I can answer all those questions, but I think if you want to discuss those questions, we need a little time for you to be able to ask us that. That's the purpose of tabling, so carry on.
So, as Mr. Young mentioned, we had been talking about this since back, I think we talked about it under superintendent's report back on December 13th, which was right before Christmas. It's hard for everybody to remember that, what we talked about exactly. And then we tweaked it somewhat and came back on February 14th, Valentine's Day, and talked about it some more on that date. But the transportation plan, like I said, we've constantly tweaked it. Rusty's been involved in that process, and a lot of input has been given from a lot of people to try to get this right. And I know there's still some concerns out there. But just kind of go through this real quick. The proposal would require students and student athletes to be transported to competitions and events by bus only. And one of our board members mentioned today, which is in red for the board members who have that, the only exception would be for a parent to write a note allowing their child to be transported by other means. But coaches, of course, and sponsors may require all athlete students to ride the bus to and from the event. Sometimes a coach, just as a football coach, I wanted to make sure they rode it to the game and home. So that would be their priority, their prerogative as far as making sure whether or not they wanted to do that. Groups with 7 or less students and student athletes are permitted to ride with their parents or in a county-provided rented vehicle. Coach sponsor would follow the current approved procedures for renting a vehicle on such occasions. Students and student athletes may ride home with the parent guardian with approved permission by the coach and with approved permission. Remaining students would be transported back to the home school by bus or county-provided rented vehicle. So that's the first part. Then we went to coach, teacher, sponsor to driver proposal. So we went from requiring this to kind of strongly encouraging this, and I think there's some incentives that really help this process out. Currently, only a few of our coaches, teachers, and sponsors hold an Alabama school bus driver's license. And actually, it goes back to starting to talk about this, I think, back in 2019 when we first started talking about it as a board. Some of us weren't here, but that's when it started. We started talking about it. The proposed recommendation would strongly encourage each group team to have the correct number of coaches, sponsors to hold an Alabama school bus driver's license, as it takes to travel with that group or team. The training process would begin immediately, and Rusty's already got some additional trainers scheduled to help with this effort, and so that's going to make this go a lot smoother. With all trips being shifted to buses starting in the 23-24 school year, the coach sponsor would pay for the upfront cost of obtaining the CDL learner's permit. The driver training for that permit would be free for the new driver. Our district trainer would train them and get them in a state-sponsored class to obtain the permanent license. Once the permanent license is obtained, the system would reimburse the driver. Any group team without drivers will be expected to schedule away games with a departure time of 4:15 or later. And as we mentioned before, we had some, I think it was band or something, didn't have a driver. So that was important if you're going to schedule a game to make sure we have a driver that can drive them there, or later to allow route drivers to complete routes and then drive them. So proposed funding for the trips. With increased volume of trips, an increase in funding would be needed. This proposal would move trip costs from the local school programs, which I think is great in the sense of, the schools aren't having to do all the fundraisers. This is something that can help their athletic programs. They can have some additional, sponsored events at the school that will help their student athletes because this is being paid for by the district. This would include driver and vehicle costs. The proposal would include all district approved and state sanctioned trips to competitive events in which students are representing the district. Voluntary or non-competition academic, athletic, and band trips would be excluded in the funding portion of this proposal. Trip funding decisions will be on a trip-by-trip basis. Total proposed cost is estimated at $800,000. We looked at a lot of different numbers. We think that's a little high, but we just wanted to be safe as far as our budgeting for this moving forward. Proposed payments for coaches, sponsors, and drivers, and this is where a real incentive comes in. So transportation would still work to obtain regular drivers for all trips. And this is something that's really important. We don't want to take away from our regular drivers. We feel like this is the way they make extra money. Rusty and I talk about that all the time. This is the way they supplement their income with trips. And if we have enough, then there won't be a greater need for, of course, coaches to drive. With some trips leaving during route times and lack of available drivers, we would use the licensed coaches sponsors as a backup on trips. If a coach sponsor drives their group sport, that employee would receive the current minimal 3-hour pay for driving, because that's above and beyond their coaching responsibilities. If a coach sponsor drives a group sport that is not their group or sport, that employee would receive regular bus driver field trip pay. So we have times where we just really need a driver to drive someone. And so if I'm a football coach, I'm going to drive for baseball, I would just be like a normal bus driver and could receive that normal pay. So proposed field trip rate increase. Currently, the field trip rate is $15 per hour with a minimum 3 hours. With the addition of the trips outlined above, we need all our regular drivers to drive field trips. An increase in hourly rate would encourage more drivers to accept field trip assignments. The proposal would increase this rate to $20 per hour with a minimum 3 hours. And Rusty and I talked today about, we thought even that might incentivize some regular drivers to drive more as well, because you're going up $5 per hour on that incentive. And then proposed driver physical. Currently, each driver pays for the driver physical. TOC Athens has agreed to offer a bus driver physical for $30 each physical. This proposal would have each driver coach sponsor to pay for the upfront cost of attaining the driver physical at TOC Athens. Once the driver physical is obtained there, the system would reimburse the driver. So that kind of is it in a nutshell. Like I said, we've taken a lot of input. We'll continue to take input on this. And we'll move forward from there. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
So do I have a motion to table this for right now? Mr. Glaze, do I have a second? Mr. Young? Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Yes, I did lose my page. Discussion and approving memorandum of understanding between the Limestone County Board of Education and the Limestone County Commission for construction consisting of widening and adding additional turn lanes to State Road 127 from Bob Jones Parkway to Upper Fort Hampton Road. Do I have a motion?
Hello.
Mr. Glaze offers. Do I have a second? Mr. Young seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? And it passes unanimously. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I move.
Mr. Fudge.
It's my turn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Glaze seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously.